Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday, and previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., once again flying solo. They have not released Kaliko from the Staples Center for for AEW Revolution. He's still there. Um, Despite this fact, it's still a great day for Wrestling Wit. As last week on the show, we interviewed Joe Bravo and Mo Kelly. Two incredible interviews from two incredible individuals. Definitely go check those out if you haven't already. Um, Cannot recommend them enough. But always looking to the future. This upcoming Tuesday, we have Class Kincaid, the last action star, uh, from from the Great White North, Canada. We talk about action movies. We talk about matches. A match that he had with a comedian. We talk about matches against Eden Prince and a hell of a lot more. We talk about him being in a band before pro wrestling, maybe what he'll do after pro wrestling as well. So definitely go check that one out on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, we have Mayari back to Wrestle League. She is the current Wrestle League Women's Champion. Um, we talk about that. Um, Getting into pro wrestling as not a wrestling fan, which is a very interesting story. What her husband thinks of that, as he is a wrestling fan himself. Um, an early on injury that kind of set her back and made her question, if she should continue wrestling. Um, how a match with Shauna Lee actually, um, brought her back from not retiring. How Shaq Jordan gave her the confidence that she has now, and a hell of a lot more. You definitely want to go check that one out as well. And then on April 7th, we have Dewey Robson. On the 8th, we have Nathan Hope. On the 15th, we have Braden Ghost. And on the 22nd, we have Adonis Allen. So, April is packing up. Uh, Not that we're done putting ourselves over. We're never done, James. The spirit of Kaliko is inside me. It's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with the news. And last night on SmackDown, A1 Sami Zayn captured the United States Championship for the third time, I want to say. Think that's accurate. Either way, he accepted the challenge from Carmelo Hayes. The match happened. Sami Zayn took the victory after actually maybe taking some help from Trick Williams. Um, so Sami Zayn, Trick Williams, WrestleMania, more or less just confirmed on that show. Um, Kind of sucks, honestly, if I'm being honest, because, excluding Carmelo when he was holding down that title for, so long and, doing a really good job at it as well. Excluding Ilya as well. Um, it seems like they're not necessarily, they were teasing that Tamatonga might have gone for it as well. That's not happening, unfortunately. And yeah, just I could make the argument that Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn would have been a big enough match for people to care. Um, Sammy still has his followers, and obviously Sammy has his haters as well. Um, Trick Williams is, just on fire right now. So, obviously, you know, I believe it was broken a couple of weeks ago that, they might do the double switch at Mania. You didn't need a title to necessarily do that. You could have just did it, with nothing on the line. But I digress. Um, Also on the show last night, Jelly Roll took his first ever WWE victory against Kit Wilson. Good on him. I mean, it wasn't a 5-star Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels match, but I think it got the job done. I mean, it was just a random SmackDown in Pittsburgh. I mean, they could have made it a bit bigger of a deal, but I could understand where, Jelly, doesn't want to take the spotlight away from, the stars. Um, I want to say that he's going to be involved in WrestleMania to some degree. Um, I hope he's not involved in the Randy Orton slash Cody Rhodes rivalry, considering he took an RKO last night. Um, but we shall see. Maybe the issues between him and Kit Wilson are not over. Maybe we'll get Kit Wilson and The Miz versus Danhausen and Jelly Roll. Like, legitimately, like, take my fucking money. Like, that should be a match. Like, please, if that was not the plan, make that the plan. Danhausen and Jelly Roll versus The Miz and Kit Wilson. Please make that a WrestleMania match. Um, People that are not on WrestleMania because they don't work for the company is the TNA Knockouts. Gail Kim went to Twitter to voice her displeasure with how the Knockouts have been treated as of late when it comes to TNA's booking of them. Um, and I would say that her issues are kind of warranted, honestly. Like, maybe even, I wanted to say like 5 years ago, but I would even go as far as saying 3 years ago. TNA has always had the strongest women's division in pro wrestling. Um, since 2006. So I mean, you're going back 20 years. Um, there was a long time in the a long time back in the day when they were still divas that when people would ask me who's my favorite women's wrestler, it was Gail Kim. It was just like a default answer at that point because WWE did not have a solid, women's division, unfortunately. And the TNA Knockouts have always had a consistent, women's roster. Um, and again, that goes up until maybe like a couple years ago. And now I would say that this is maybe the weakest it's been, honestly. You have Tessa, who is well, not a TNA original, but I mean, she's only worked for TNA out of the big three, properly, I would say. Um, and then you have Ariana Grace as their knockout champion when she is a TNA star, NXT star, I should say. But I mean, look who we have on the roster right now. Elisa Edwards, I mean, solid, always has been. Asked by Elegance, not currently wrestling. Danny Luna. I mean, she's a solid hand, but I mean, you have to actually have somebody to wrestle. Um, Daria Ray, who is actually an active wrestler. I don't expect her to, be wrestling unless absolutely necessary. Elena Black, who, could flip flop at any point in time. Jill Miller had a match. It was not the best. Um, you have the tag team champions, Hedor and M by Elegance. Um, I mean, indie darlings for sure. Um, but then you have Indy Hartwell. Um, you have Victoria Crawford. You have Li Yang Lee. You have who else am I missing here? Um Mariah Sadie, like all WWE alumni. Like, I mean, it's kind of the women's division was never so saturated, I would say. Um, I mean, they're solid hands for sure, but they're just not getting. They don't have what they once had when, they, they don't have the proper partners to work with. I mean, Masha was there. I don't know if Masha's still considered uh, on the TNA roster or they let her go. But I mean, it's just sad. Like, she could have been like a really good leader and forefront of the Knockouts division. Like, she was that, you know, that type of wrestler. But, again, you're only as good as your dance partner. And when your dance partners are TNA NXT rejects, I'm sorry, it's not going to be as good as it could be. So I would say that maybe, TNA needs to dip into the indie pool a bit more and kind of see, who they pull out because they could definitely, they do have solid hands, but they need to bring back up the Knockouts division to where it once was because it is definitely not where it could be or should be, if I'm being completely honest. Speaking of TNA alumni, Josh Alexander is out indefinitely with a severe knee injury, which kind of sucks for him. Um, I do hope him, the very best. I would hope that, with him being injured, maybe he'll gain new perspective, I would say, because like he was like one of the bigger stars and kind of carried TNA on his back. And then he signed with AEW, and it just he was he was just a random guy in the Don Callis family, which is sad because he's such a gifted and talented wrestler. For him to be, relegated to that is just, terrible. And the crappy part about it is it seemed like he was okay with that. Like he didn't consider about going to NXT. And like, I mean, I get it if you're just, looking for your paycheck and, doing it to be, a wrestler, that's fine. But, if you want to actually, be somebody in the pro wrestling world, I don't think he necessarily took, the proper route. So hopefully, like I said, new perspective, fresh paint a coat on him, and maybe he'll be in a spot where maybe Tony Khan will say, "Hey, maybe we need to put a belt on this guy," or put him in a main event, put him against Kenny Omega. The likelihood of that happening, I have no idea. Who knows? But I would say that it's less than likely, but we shall see. Um, Going from one person to one knee to another person with one knee. You're a fucking terrible person. Buff Bagwell teases one more match in TNA. He came out to the crowd, thanked them for their support, and then A1 Frankie Kazarian came out and um, talked crap to him, you know, told him some very nice, not nice things. For anybody that doesn't know, Buff Bagwell had one leg amputated. Um, so a lot of people are, speculating, this confrontation with Kazarian will lead to an actual match between the two of them. I would say if that is the case, I mean, it's absolutely not impossible. I mean, we've seen one-legged wrestlers in the past. Obviously, what was his name again? Zach Gowen. Zach Gowen is the name. He even had a match with on AEW not too terribly long ago. Um, there was the other um one-legged wrestler that Zach Gowen was mistaken for, but the other leg that Johnny Ace hired. I want to say that there was another one a couple of more than a couple of years back. So I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that we could see Buff Bagwell, one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Um, if he is indeed able to do it and is healthy enough to do it, I'll say power to him, honestly. Um, have your last match, get a payday, get your flowers, and maybe go backstage and take up some type of agent role, or start a podcast like we all fucking do it. Um, I think that if he is in a healthy place and he is in a good place, then it would be the best, you know, it would be the best thing for him to get closure. So, that would be good. Well, for him. So, yeah, we shall see if anything comes to tuition of that. Um, some WWE knows. Bad News Brown and Psycho Sid Vicious are officially Hall of Fame inductees class of 2026. Um, Sid, I would say, is long overdue. I would say I kind of feel like Sid was already went in. If I'm being honest, I could have swore that they put him, but apparently not. Um, and I mean, it just sucks that Sid is going in and he's not able to actually, have a speech and have that moment. You know, he's since passed, unfortunately. Um, Bad News Brown as well. Wait a minute, this Bad News Brown passed? Yeah, Brown has passed. So, um, a little bit out of character for them to induct two dead people. Like usually they don't. Um, but yeah. I mean, I'm definitely not going to say it's not deserved. It's definitely warranted. Um, so yeah. Two legends that will unfortunately not be able to enjoy the moment because they dead. But yeah. here we are. Um, Somebody that um maybe enjoyed the moment too well was a preschool director who stole $350,000 for which she paid WWE. She purchased WWE tickets because yeah, and they weren't even front row. I mean, they were still cheap seats. I mean, that's the point that we're at this point. That we're stealing money from children in order to pay for our WWE tickets because they're that damn expensive. Like, it's unfortunate, but again, here we are. I don't know any more information about that. It's just yeah, a bit of news. I'm sure I hope that she enjoyed those shows, before she got arrested. So, um, somebody enjoying his moment right now is a one John Cena, who hopes to have a new role in WWE. Um, I find that interesting that John is wanting another role in WWE. Considering he's doing pretty okay outside of WWE when it comes to acting gigs, host gigs, gigs in general. But I can't falter him for wanting to stay where he loves the place he loves the most. When it comes to a role for John, I couldn't necessarily tell you. I would say the best place for him would be a agent. Put together matches for the guys. Um, I don't. I mean, he was never a strong promo. If I'm being honest, um, he never seemed like he was the creative type. To bring things to the table. Um, I mean, that being said, I mean, he did everything that Vince McMahon told him. Um, what else could he do? I mean, I don't see him in Gorilla. I mean, he could be a coach at the NXT center, at the Performance Center. That would definitely do him good. He could even be on the LFG. Um, put him next to Undertaker. Nobody would think he's out of place by any means. So yeah, I would say that there are spots for him. I would say those limited spots, but spots nonetheless. I mean, give him a podcast. Give him a podcast with Buff Bagwell. Buff and you can't see Buff. I've seen a Buff. There you go. I've seen a Buff. You could free of charge right here on Wrestling with Entertainment. Buff Bagwell John Cena podcast. I've seen a Buff. Oh, talking about seen enough. Some jerk off decided to come up to John Cena and sing to him. Why, I have no fucking idea. He wasn't even singing John Cena's song. He was singing some corny, shitty love song to him. Um, and it's kind of funny if you haven't seen, the video. Like John Cena has like no fucking idea what's going on for maybe a good 10, 15 seconds, and then maybe he spots the camera. I'm not entirely sure, but he's just about seen enough, and then he kind of just shuts that shit down. He gets up and he's like, "Hey, how are you? I'm John Cena. I don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're selling, I'm not buying, and told the guy, I mean, didn't say the exact words, but he basically sent him the fuck off. Um, so yeah, I mean, considering who John Cena is and the world that he lives in, pro wrestling, I mean, he could have knocked the shit out of this guy, and I don't think a lot of people would have um, thought twice about it. He was a lot more nicer than he could have been. You know, this is definitely not a Chapel Ronin situation. um, John, this is John Cena is pretty, I would say, respectful to his fans when they come up to him. Except Ken Warren, if you remember our interview with him. Um, but what I'm trying to say is, if you're respectful to him, he will be respectful towards you. So keep that in mind the next time you wanna, sing in front of John Cena, especially not a John Cena song as well. And I mean, this is also coming off the cusp of when he a couple of days ago, when a fan said, I have cancer, can I have a hug? And John Cena's like, of course you can have a hug, and gives him the best John Cena hug he could give. So, you know, to each their own. Another bit of news this week that came out was Maria Malenko, daughter of Dean Malenko, has signed with WWE. I wasn't even aware that Dean had a daughter that wrestled, but so she does, and she's wrestled for Noah in Japan, and now, yeah, she did WWE tryout, got signed, and she's going to be reporting sooner rather than later. I mean, if she's half the wrestler her dad is, then I mean, we're in for a treat. I could definitely see um a Malenko versus Flair match would not suck. Um, Maybe we'll see some more personality out of her than we did her dad. But yeah, if they don't name her the woman of 1,000 holes, I will be sorely disappointed. And more so, I would be sorely disappointed if we didn't get a woman of 1,004 holes, and 20 of those holes are the armbar. Who could pull that off? I have no idea. Probably Becky Lynch would be the best person to beat a woman of 1,004 holes. Maybe a woman of 4,000 holes. Who knows? But yeah, I would say there could be a lot of opportunities there, if they give them. Um, but we shall see what happens with Maria Malenko. All right, that will conclude our coverage of the news. And now a quick word from our sponsors.
So, Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low calorie, no sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off brands out there that are presenting low quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more wins.
Use promo code WRESTLINGWITHE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with NXT Stand and Deliver. Takes place next Saturday in St. Louis, Missouri. The factory at the district. I mean, you couldn't even get a fucking arena. Kind of sucks. I'm kind of thinking the poster. It kind of seems a la Star Wars a bit. That doesn't necessarily suck. And yeah, this is the first Stand and Deliver that will stand on its own, outside of the shadow of WrestleMania. I think that's I think that's a good thing, because normally Stand and Deliver gets overshadowed by everything else that's happening during WrestleMania weekend, because it's WrestleMania. And usually the takeover shows were the highlight of WrestleMania week. But obviously not anymore. It went to 2 nights. It got relegated to a breakfast show. And Shawn Michaels be like, I'm not getting up in the morning to produce this shit. So, I think that this was the best move for them. Get the more eyes on the guys and girls, and maybe have a bit of, um, a bit of press from the news that will actually maybe last a week, before we head into WrestleMania. Funny enough, if you are in America, this will be on YouTube, so for free. So free 99, always appreciated as well. So let's get into it. Not all of the matches have been announced, but um, we could more or less, predict, what this is going to kind of be. Um, the Vanity Project, Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes, defend against Edor Bortwright, Channing Stax Lorenzo, and Uranus Canos, or Los Americanos, Bravo and Rayo Americano. Um, Funny enough, the whole Americano, the Americano paradox, let's call it. Um, it's just so bizarre, because their faces, El Grande Americano the second is a face in Mexico. The OG is a heel. The States OG is face, and the second is heel. And in NXT, the second and the Americanos are faces. So I mean, it's just fucked up completely. So I don't. I mean, Birthright are heels. So I mean, and Vanity Project are heels. So it would make most sense for Los Americanos to be going in this match. They had a great match against Vanity Project a couple of weeks ago, so it would make sense for them, um, to get their comeuppance against Americanos. I'm sure they could have a great match as well, and kind of get the crowd going. So I would say, yeah, Americanos would be the best option here. Um, That being said, Vanity Project would make the most sense to win, as Los Americanos does not go there. So if you do not go there, then you shall not win a title. Alright, then we have the North American Championship match, Miles Bourne versus Johnny Gargano. I don't think we're gonna see Johnny Takeover because these are not uh takeovers anymore. They are just branded pay-per-views. PLEs, I should say. I think Johnny could have a really good matchup with Miles Bourne. I dare say that they could have match of the night, if I'm being completely honest. Um, yeah. Um, I mean, if he's depressed depressed boy Johnny Gargano, then I mean, we're not necessarily going to see much. But considering how much he loves NXT, I don't see Johnny not showing off in this match. So, yeah, it's going to be a good match. Miles will more than likely win, I would say. Then we have Zarya versus Sol Ruka. And fuck me, people are actually going for Zarya. They think about uh it like Kaliko do, that Sol Ruka's a bad homie. Um, or maybe they just know that Sol is leaving them and they're just kind of mentally preparing themselves. Because Zarya is, in my opinion, sour grapes. She has nothing to be angry about when it comes to Soul. And it's just insane to me how the crowd is getting behind Zarya. I don't know, maybe they feel sorry for Zarya because they know that this is it for her. Once Soul leaves, she's genetied out of the company. I mean, maybe that's a bit harsh, but she's definitely getting genetied for sure. Um, yeah, I would say, in all seriousness, I would say Zarya has to win this match. If she doesn't win the match, then what was the point of her turning heel to begin with? So, definitely Zarya. I definitely think Zarya should win. For sure. Whether or not she actually wins, that ceased to remain, but that would be where smart money would lie. All right, that takes us to NXT Women's Championship match. JC Jane to the beat. Hey, you don't even have to move your feet. Um, versus either Kendall Gray or Lola Vice. Well, I mean, I'm partial here, so I'm maybe not the best person to ask. I like Kendall. I mean, the crazy, the most crazy thing that could happen is that this is made into a triple threat. Um, if Kendall wins, JC will win the title, retain the title. If Lola wins, then I would maybe say Lola would go on to take the title from JC. Um, I mean, then again, I there is just the option that JC retains. I mean, JC's a juggernaut with that title, and she's quite arguably the best NXT Women's Champion that we've had in quite some time. Like she really knows how to run with it, and she just does such a great job in that position. It's insane. So, I mean, it would not surprise me if she just held on to it any which way you look at it. If it was a triple threat, my money would be on JC as well. So, I mean, she deserves a stand and deliver title retain as well. I mean, the last time I went with JC, she lost. And my girl Lola is in there, so you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go local advice. That brings us to the main event, the last match. The reason everybody is in St. Louis. Fatal 4-way match for the NXT Championship. Joe Henry defense against Ricky Saints, Ethan Page, and Tony D'Angelo. Don't even fucking know why D'Angelo is in this match. He had one match against Dark State, and now he's in it. Okay. Sure, why not? I do feel Ethan Page is going to be called up sooner rather than later, probably the night after Mania. So, bye Ethan. That takes him out of the equation. I don't see them giving it back to Ricky Saints. Tony D'Angelo will never hold that championship, so I believe in Joe Henry. Alright. I believe that will conclude our coverage of NXT Stand and Deliver. We'll have a full review of this show in 2 weeks. And that will conclude this show as a whole. Thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment. But on YouTube and Castbox, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us this Tuesday as we interview Class Kincaid, this Wednesday as we interview Mayari, and every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. And follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. For Calico Yachts and Scooter Dust, I am James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.